Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Salma Karamadani with and my ID number is 2406031100008. Today I am going to explain about a presentation in the history of Islamic. My topic is in the history of Islamic civilization in the period of the Khulafaur Rasyidin. Now, at first we must know what is the Khulafaur Rasyidin. The Khulafaur Rasyidin is called the Caliphate. So Al-Khulafaur Rasyidin means the learned successor of the Prophet. Al-Khulafaur Rasyidin were Islamic leaders from among the companions. After the Prophet Muhammad SAW died, there were leaders who were directly elected by the companions through a democratic mechanism. So after the Prophet Muhammad SAW died, there was no leader to lead the civilization of Islamic at that time. So a lot of the Prophet Muhammad SAW friends, they create Al-Khulafaur Rasyidin to lead the Muslim civilization at that time. Now, what is the duties of the rightly guided caliphs? So the duties of the rightly guided caliphs is the rightly guided caliphs were responsible for replacing the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad in matters of state, namely as the head of state or head of government and religious leader. So the Al-Khulafaur Rasyidin, the Caliphate, they replace the Prophet Muhammad SAW as the head of state or the head of government and religious leader. The task of the rightly guided caliphs as head of state is to regulate the lives of their people so that a peaceful, just, prosperous, secure, and tranquil life is created. The task of the rightly guided caliphs as the religious leader of the rightly guided caliphs was responsible for regulating matters related to religious issues. The rightly guided caliphs in carrying out their duties always prioritize joint deliberation so that every policy taken would not conflict with the Muslim. So the rightly guided caliphs don't make their own decisions. So every decision that they made is a deliberation of everyone. They put out a poll. So, for example, if someone has a problem, the rightly guided caliphs don't just decide on their own. They decided to democratic reasons with deliberation, and every policy taken would not conflict with the Muslim. There are two ways to be elected to be a caliph. The first one is by deliberation by the Prophet companion. The second one is based on the appointment of the previous caliphs. So if the previous caliphs chose one successor, then that successor is by default the next caliphs. But if the previous caliph did not take any successor, it would be taken by deliberation by the Prophet's companion. The first ever caliph to be appointed is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Abu Bakr became the first caliph from the deliberation held in Bani Sa'idah, Medina. When the Prophet Muhammad SAW died, he didn't appointed anyone to be the next leader of the civilization of Islam. So the uh, the the leaders or friends of uh, the Prophet Muhammad SAW are concerned of if there are no leaders to be leading the Muslim civilization. So they make they make deliberation to decide the first caliph, and that person was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. The Rida, in when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became the caliph, a war broke out called the Rida War, namely a war that was carried out to eradicate the rebellion of people who claimed to be prophet and did not want to pay zakat. After the Prophet Muhammad died, a lot of Muslims at that time lost their ways, like drinking. Like they began to do sin, like drinking and gambling, and making themselves like they are the next prophet. Well, in fact, there was no next prophet after Muhammad. So when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became a leader, he focuses on the people to bring back the people who are misguided. And when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became the prophet, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became the caliph. It is the beginning of the collection of the Quran to be written down from the initiative of Umar. Because a war always broke out, and the Quran is not yet to be a book. It is still a mushaf, or just a piece of paper. It is yet to be book. So a lot of people who has this mushaf, they died in battle, and the mushaf is, and Umar, the initiative of making the book, is scared that the mushaf will be gone after the holder is no longer in this world. So it is the beginning of the collection of Quran to be written down and to be booked. Now, in his leadership, Abu Bakr exercised his power similar to that of the Prophet, in a central manner where legislative, executive, and judicial powers were centralized in the hands of the caliphs. So every decision is made together, but the final decision is still in the caliph's hand. It is legislative, executive, and judicial powers were centralized in the hands of the caliph. Abu Bakr died on 22 Jumada Saniyah, 13 Hijr, at the age of 63 years. Now, Abu Bakr became a caliph is quick. It's not long. Abu Bakr caliph lasted for 2 years, 3 months, and 10 days, 13 AH at the age of 63. Now, the next caliph is Caliph Umar bin Khattab. He reigned since 634 until 644 Masehi. Now, Umar bin Khattab became the second caliph after being chosen by Abu Bakr as-Siddiq when he felt ill and was about to die. When Abu Bakr got sick, he appointed Umar bin Khattab to become the next caliph. During the reign of Umar bin Khattab, there was an expansion of the conquered territories of Islam, the formation of department in various areas of his power, and the payment of taxes. And Caliph Umar bin Khattab ended his leadership after being assassinated by Abu Lulu. So Caliph Umar bin Khattab didn't die of natural causes, he was murdered. Now, the third caliph is Uthman bin Affan. He reigned since 644 Masehi until 656 Masehi. Uthman bin Affan was the third caliph who was elected through indirect appointment, namely through the Shura body formed by Umar before his death. So, before his death, Umar picked about 6 or 8 people that he trusted to become the next caliph. So those people are going to be candidates of the next caliph. And through election, Uthman bin Affan was appointed to become the next caliph. During the caliphate of Uthman, Islam experienced territorial expansion in Egypt and Iraq, as well as the compilation of the Quran. However, there was a rebellion caused by policies that were considered nepotism. This triggered the murder of Uthman bin Affan in 35 H or 656 AD. Now, when Uthman bin Affan, he reigned as a caliph for a very long time, and in that moment, and there are 12 years, he became a caliph. For in that 6 years or 14 years, wait, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 9, 50, 54, 12. So he reigned for 12 years. The beginning of 6 years, from 1 to 6, he leads with compassion and he leads greatly. But the end of the 6 years, like 7 to 12 years when he reigned, it became a little bit out of hand. What I'm saying is, when the Uthman bin Affan became caliph, he appointed a lot of his family members to be in the department, so there's consider a bit of a nepotism going around. So a lot of people don't like him at the end of his reign. He became sort of a puppet, a caliph only in name, because a lot of decision making was done by his family. So yeah, Uthman bin Affan is a great leader in the first 6 years, and not so much in the last 6 years. And he was murdered. But after Uthman bin Affan was murdered, the next caliph is Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali bin Abi Talib was the fourth caliph after the selection of Uthman bin Affan. Ali bin Abi Talib was sworn in as caliph after the killing of Uthman. After someone killed Uthman, he was appointed to become the next caliph, because not a lot of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam close friends are around anymore, because one of them died one by one. And during the reign of Ali bin Abi Talib, there was a war between Muawiyah, Talha, and Aisha, caused by the killing of Uthman. Demand for revenge and a struggle for power. So a lot of people think that one of Ali bin Abi Talib's men killed Uthman bin Affan. And a lot of people don't like that Ali bin Abi Talib became the caliph. So a war broke out. Now, there were several major wars during the reign of Ali bin Abi Talib. When Ali bin Abi Talib reigned, there was a lot of war, because Muslims are starting to crumble. The Muslim Empire, that is. Now, the first one is the Battle of Jamal. The Battle of Jamal, also known as the Camel Battle, took place between the forces of Ali bin Abi Talib and forces of Aisha, Talha, and Zubair in Basra. This war was caused by differences of opinion about the resolution of the murder of Uthman bin Affan. Like I said before, a lot of people suspected that one of Ali bin Abi Talib's men killed Uthman bin Affan, and it was his order. And so a lot of people don't like that. And Ali bin Abi Talib also doesn't help that he proposed that he doesn't want to investigate any further of the murder of Uthman bin Affan. So a lot of people got, like, suspect that. A lot of people don't like it, and they suspect. The second war is Siffin War. The Siffin War took place between Ali bin Abi Talib troops and Muawiyah troops in Siffin, Iraq. This war was caused by Muawiyah's complaint about the irregularities in resolving the murder case of Uthman bin Affan. Same as before. The third one is the Battle of Nahrawan. The Battle of Nahrawan took place between Ali bin Abi Talib troops and the Khawarij troops in Nahrawan, Iraq. This war was caused by differences of opinion about the resolution of Umar bin Affan and Ali's role in the resolution. Now, Ali bin Abi Talib was killed in 661 AD or 40 after Hijrah in Kufa, Iraq. Ali bin Abi Talib was killed by Abdurrahman bin Muljam, a member of the Khawarij group, while performing the dawn prayer at the Kufa mosque. Now, I'm going to tell you what is the contribution of having the caliphs. The emergence of thought movement in Islam, prominent thought movement during the time of the rightly guided its caliphs were: 1. Maintaining the integrity of the Holy Quran and collected it in the form of Mus'haf during the time of Abu Bakr. Without the caliphs, we wouldn't have the Quran in book form. So the caliphs helped a lot with it. They made the Quran, which the first one is Mus'haf, to be booked, to be spine, to be easier to read. The second one is implementing the Mus'haf standard during the time of Uthman bin Affan. The third one, the seriousness in seeking and teaching knowledge and combating the ignorance of Islam among the country inhabitants. Now, because the caliphs, they expand Muslim in a lot of country. So, knowledge of Islam and Muslim became really common, and that's great because we learn a lot from it. And the final contribution of the rightly guided caliphs is does not recognize the separation between da'wah and the state. That's all. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope what I explain is clear. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.